Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. I've been dealing with a book slump for most of this year, and now I've tried many things to get out of it. This past weekend, I tried to just mood read for the weekend, and it kind of worked. It got me more excited about reading, but I didn't necessarily read as much as I was wanting to, I guess. I've been like prioritizing other stuff over reading that isn't like work or schoolwork or anything like that. Like when I'm wanting to be entertained or do something to entertain myself, I'll like watch a show or a movie or like scroll on social media. And while all those things in moderation aren't bad, it's just I really want to push myself to try to eliminate that as much as possible throughout this week. And I want to see how much I can read throughout this week and kind of push myself that when maybe I'm bored or something and I want to go scroll on social media, maybe I like pick up my phone and it's like my Kindle app instead. Just trying to make steps to minimize those things in my life. I think that'll be very helpful. Or also like when I'm driving, I listen to music all the time, which I love music. Like I'm not gonna give that up, like listening to that in the car, but maybe also integrating some audiobooks as well, because I also love audiobooks, but I've been slacking on my audiobook listening. So those are some things I want to try to do. So we're gonna see for this next week how much I can read in a week. So today is Monday actually, and I've already read quite a bit. I'm currently reading Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, and I'm on page 170, and I actually have switched to the audiobook version just because I love Irish accents and the narrator has an Irish accent. So I have been enjoying listening to this. This book follows two brothers that are grieving the loss of their father. It's kind of just a very character-driven book. Like we're just going through how they're dealing with grief and just finding out a lot about who they are and their relationship with each other, because they haven't really had any sort of relationship with each other for the past couple years, or like the relationship they have has just not been good. We're just kind of mainly dealing with them, but there's a lot of people that are connected to them that we're learning about those people as well. So I am enjoying it actually. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I was kind of a little bit nervous to get into this book, but I am enjoying it. So far today I've listened to about 20% of the audiobook. I was listening to it while I was doing my Pilates workout, and then while I was getting ready for the day, and a little bit while I was eating lunch. So I'm probably going to continue this a little bit later today, but there's another book actually that I have been reading, and let me tell you about it. So I don't have a physical copy, but I'll insert a picture right here. But I have been reading, oh my gosh, what is it called? First Time Caller? Okay, totally forgot what it's called. It's by the author of the Love Light Farm series, and I've never read that series before, but I know a lot of people really enjoy this. I was excited to pick this up, and the cover is so gorgeous. It's literally my two favorite colors in one cover, and I'm quite honestly obsessed with the cover. So if I really enjoy the book, I might just have to give in and buy a physical copy. But the premise for this book is there's this guy that works on a radio station, and it's like a romance themed radio station. I think he's the one that started it. I kind of forget. He started it on the pretense of, you know, he's very much like lover boy, you know, that vibe, but he's fallen out of that mindset and doesn't really believe in love anymore until one day he gets a call from this like 12-year-old girl to the station, because they pick up calls for like asking for like love advice and stuff. And the girl is asking for advice for her mom, Lucy, who had her when she was really young, I think like 16, hasn't really gone on any dates since she had her daughter. And so then Lucy hops on to the radio call, or whatever you would say, radio interview, I don't know. And it kind of goes viral, and it becomes this thing about everyone that listens to the radio station is trying to get Lucy to find her soulmate. And obviously the radio host, Aiden is his name, I forget if I mentioned that, he starts kind of developing feelings for her, and it seems to be reciprocated by Lucy. So that's where we're at right now. It's very cute. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I am enjoying my time. I feel like it's a good like palate cleanser right now, and I think it's the book that I have been wanting to read, like the type of book. It's just kind of like for me right now, the Aiden guy. I like him in general, but he does seem a little bit on the verge of love bomby, and that is like my greatest hatred. No, I don't know. I hate when in books they're love bombers, and in real life. I am enjoying it though. I think it's a fun concept. The characters are fun. I like how the book is structured, because it's like you'll have your normal chapter and then there'll be like little transcripts from the radio station, like from the radio segment, I guess. Radio segment. I think that's right. So I did actually read a bit of that today. I read it while I was on my little walking pad thing. I read 2 chapters. I don't know the exact amount, but at the end of the days during this video, I'm going to insert little pictures with how much I read of each book or whatever. It's kind of going to be a little chaotic, I feel like, because I'm someone, I jump around with books and stuff. I read like multiple at once. I'm trying to limit myself to like 2 to maybe 3, as long as they're different formats and different genres too. Yeah, I feel like that was a really long intro. Yeah, welcome to Monday. I'm gonna read, I think, a little bit more of First Time Caller. I'm about 50% of the way through the book actually, so will I finish it today? Probably not, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm gonna go get on and reading that. Okay, on my way to the bookstore cafe that I like to go to. I need a coffee, so hopefully I can find a seat because sometimes it's very busy there and it gives me anxiety not having a seat sometimes. But I need a coffee desperately. I need to do a little bit of homework, but part of my homework is reading, so I'm gonna count it. Yes. Okay, change of plans. They were actually closed. Forgot they're closed on Mondays, so that's my bad. And I already paid for parking, so kind of an L. You know, sometimes that's just the way it goes sometimes. So we're gonna keep the vibes up actually. Instead, I think what we're gonna do, I do have to go run by the grocery store. So I think I'm just gonna do that right now. There's just a few things I have to pick up. And I'm actually meeting up with my friend and we're going coffee shop hopping anyways to do some work and stuff at 2. And it's like 12:30 right now. So I think I'll just go do that and then I'll get my coffee when she comes back. So. Hi guys, welcome to Tuesday. It is such a beautiful day out. I don't know if you can tell yet. Sorry I didn't update you yesterday. I came home from my night class kind of late. I read a bit before bed. I read a bit of First Time Caller. I only read about a chapter because honestly I was really tired by the time I went to bed. But I do have my stats written down. I figured out how many pages I read yesterday. It was kind of a lot more of like a work day. Thought I was gonna read a bit more than I did, but luckily today I don't have anything to do. Let me rephrase that. I don't have to do anything today. So I'm just gonna get my reading on and try to finish at least one of these books and maybe start a new one because gotta keep it fresh, gotta keep it going. Okay, so I have it written down. For intermezzo yesterday, I actually listened to 60 pages, which I think is pretty good. I'm listening to this audiobook on 2 times speed. Sometimes that doesn't work for me, but for some reason, like hearing the super fast Irish accent is just like, I don't know, I am able to focus on it a lot more compared to like a fantasy novel or something. I'm still like able to track this like completely. And then for First Time Caller, I ended up reading 65 pages yesterday, which I think is pretty good. I'm about 54% of the way through the book, I believe. So my goal is I think I want to finish that book today, but we will see on that. So yesterday, since I failed on going to that bookstore cafe, I'm gonna try to go again today because they're open. I'm gonna double check though, even though I know they're open on Tuesdays, I feel like I just need to double check because if it happens 2 times where I go and they're closed, I'm gonna be so sad. It's 10:30 right now and I'm all ready for the day, but I think I want to get my hair to dry a little bit more. I like to get it to be pretty dry and then I'll blow dry it. But yeah, my hair takes forever to dry, so it might take a little bit. I think I'll just wait and I'll have lunch here and read a bit here. And I think I'll have a coffee here, actually. How many times can I say here? I really need one right now. I don't know why I haven't had one yet, but I ended up making those. I think I probably inserted a clip or I'll insert the clip right now, but I tried those like viral protein bagels. They were actually so good. I definitely want to cook them a little different next time, but for a first attempt, I would say that they were really good. It's just like Greek yogurt, flour, and baking soda, and I added a little bit of seasoning. Super fire. JJ and I had one. I think those are my only updates, and I'll see you later today. Wednesday. We're not going to talk about the fact that I'm wearing the same outfit as yesterday, right? Okay. So, I haven't really updated you guys in a bit, and that's kind of due to yesterday. I just have been going through something, kind of happened mainly last night, and yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, but doing a lot better now. And yeah, so I didn't really read last night at all when I came home from the cafe I was at, but I wanted to do a little recap of what I read yesterday. I ended up reading up to 73% of First Time Caller. I gotta say, I'm really liking it a lot. I think it's just really fun, very lighthearted, very low stakes, which I feel like is what I need in a book right now, especially when it's paired with intermezzo, which we'll get into that in a second. Yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about the male main character in the book. There's just something about him that I'm not in love with. But the female main character, on the other hand, Lucy, I really like her. I think she's a really fun main character. And yeah, I think she's great. And in terms of intermezzo, I'm 63% of the way through the audiobook. I didn't like pay attention to the pages I was on for First Time Caller and intermezzo. I just kind of paid attention to the percentages, so that's my bad, but honestly whatever. And I've been listening to it a bit more this morning, and I'm really liking it a lot actually. It deals a lot with grief, and not only does it deal with the grief that the two main characters, Peter and Ivan, are dealing with in terms of their father's death, but it's also talking about like the grief that Ivan and Peter are dealing with in terms of their own relationship and kind of grieving the relationship that they once had when they were younger and kind of trying to mend that. And then also there's Peter, which Peter is dealing with something that is so sad. And yeah, I'm just loving how all the different stories are connecting to each other, and we're just learning about all these characters' lives. There's a couple different characters in the book actually, and just learning about them, I'm really enjoying it. I feel like I care about every single character in this book, and that's always fun, but also nerve-wracking. But yeah, in terms of today, Wednesday, it's actually 2 p.m. right now, and this is my first time updating you because I haven't really read a lot today. I listened to about 40 minutes of intermezzo while I was packing today because, surprise, I'm going home tomorrow. I forgot about it honestly, and then I realized, because I called my mom today, I was like, oh, I should probably pack for my trip because I'm gonna be there till Monday actually. Or no, I think till Tuesday. I think I leave Tuesday to come back here. So I had to pack for that. I only really did my clothes, and then I'll probably do my toiletries later tonight after I get home from class. And I also have just been editing a video like for a good 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, just finishing it up because I want to upload that tomorrow. I'm trying to get a kind of more like consistent uploading schedule. I think like Thursdays and Sundays would be amazing if I'm planning on doing 2 videos in 1 week, but that video is going to be up on Thursday. And in terms of what's going on the rest of the day, I just made a little yogurt bowl. The reason you're in the kitchen right now is because I was filming me talking while I was making it, but then I realized the camera literally wasn't recording, so this is me re-recording it and trying to maintain the same level of excitement for what I have to talk about. So I'm actually planning on listening to some more of intermezzo while I do my thumbnail for the video that's going up tomorrow. And then I have to go to school at around like 4:15 for a meeting with one of my professors. And then I have class from 6 to 8:30. And then I'm gonna come home and read a little bit more before bed. But this is probably the only update that's gonna happen today. But yes, other than that, I will most likely talk to you tomorrow. welcome to Friday. We have changed locations. I am back home right now for the weekend. I didn't really talk to you guys yesterday at all, but I do have some updates. So on my flight, I ended up finishing First Time Caller, and I have some thoughts about the book. Oh, getting warm. As I mentioned a couple times, I was enjoying the book a lot throughout my time reading it, and I realized that towards the end of it, I just wasn't really caring about the two characters and about their relationship. One of my biggest gripes with the book was the sort of like third act conflict, or kind of like the main conflict in the book. It just felt very unnatural and not realistic. Like, it didn't feel like, I don't want to spoil it, but it didn't feel like it would be something that would actually happen. And because of that, I just got kind of annoyed towards the end, because it was kind of like out of character for the guy in it to do this certain thing, and I just didn't really enjoy that. Sorry, I don't really know how to explain it without spoiling what happens, so I'm gonna leave it at that, I think. And the girl who I really liked, Lucy, the main character, she was honestly annoying me at the end. I don't know, I would say overall, I think I would give this book like a 3-star. It wasn't bad or anything, and throughout my time reading it, I was really enjoying it, and it was a good like palate cleanser book. I would definitely read more by B.K. Morrison, I forget the author's name. I would read more of their books because I did like the writing a lot, but this one just did disappoint me at the end. But I am glad I read it. I think it was really fun. I think it would be a really fun audiobook, because I think I listened to maybe like a couple chapters of the audiobook during some point when I was reading it. I did end up physically reading the majority of the book. So yeah, that's my review of First Time Caller. Yeah, it just seems like a book that I probably won't think about ever again. Like, it was enjoyable, it was entertaining, and it was a good palate cleanser book, but nothing groundbreaking. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it. During the course of my flight, I actually ended up picking up another book, and that is Say You'll Remember Me. Is that what it's called? I think, by Abby Jimenez. It's her newest release, and I don't believe it's a continuation of the Just for the Summer. Well, I can't remember any of these titles. I don't think it's a continuation of that series. It might be the start of a new one. I don't know. But like with romance books, it's like, in general, I feel like it's not necessary like which one you start with, because for the Just for the Summer one, or whatever it's called, I had only read Yours Truly. I hadn't read Part of Your World before I read that book. But anyways, Say You'll Remember Me. I've made it about 35% of the way through that book, actually. I read all 35% of it yesterday. So far, I'm liking it. I really like the main character, Samantha. I think she's really fun. So we have Samantha and Xavier, and Xavier is a veterinarian and Samantha works in marketing. They meet because Samantha is bringing her cat into the vet clinic, and they kind of are immediately attracted to each other, but they have kind of like a bad first meeting with each other. But then like a couple months go by and they meet up again at the clinic. He asks her out and they go on this really fun date, and they immediately hit things off. But the problem is that Samantha is actually moving the next day to California to take care of her mom. And so it's kind of this messy situation of like right person, wrong time. I'm excited to see what happens with that. And I think that's what I'm going to start reading right after I finish this little update thing. But for today, it's actually like 1 p.m. right now. I just spent the day doing like homework for a bit. I tried to get as much of it as possible out of the way early on in my visit, so I don't really have to worry about it that much. And I'm, for the most part, almost done with all my homework, which is great. I was also downtown and just outside for a bit, and I was listening to Intermezzo, and I think I have about like an hour and a half left of that, which is exciting. I'm gonna insert the total amount of pages I read yesterday right here, because right now I can't think of them. I need to look back and see how much I read yesterday, but I did end up reading a lot. Finished one book and then 35% of another book, so that was great. I didn't listen to any of Intermezzo yesterday just because like I wasn't in an audiobook mood. I was just like hanging out with my family a lot and didn't really film a lot. I got some clips throughout the day, which is good. But today is a gorgeous day, and I'm planning on reading for a bit here of Say You'll Remember Me, and then I might try to go for a walk and maybe listen to Intermezzo and finish that up on my walk. That would be great because it's literally gorgeous outside. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. But yes, if I have any other updates, I will update you about those when they happen. I literally had 40 minutes minutes left of my audiobook and I ran out of Spotify audiobook credits. And I didn't bring Intermezzo to Seattle. So now I'm literally at an intense part and I won't know what happens. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I feel like I had a little bit of an update. So I'm on chapter 17. Sorry if you can hear all the birds chirping. Just consider it ambiance because I'm outside in like one of my favorite places ever. My parents' deck. And I love it. Yeah, I'm on chapter 17. I'm 40% of the way through the book. And it's like, yes, I am liking this book. And I like the dynamic of the two characters, Xavier and Samantha. But it's just a little bit different than I thought it was going to be. Like, low-key, this is intense. The topics in this book that are like the problems that the two main characters are going through are intense. I don't know if I'm struggling to how I feel, obviously. It's like, I think that the problems that they're discussing in this book, I think it's good that they're talking about them. Also, excuse my nails because my nails are so bad right now. Like, horrible. They keep breaking. We'll deal with that later. It's like the problems are very different. Like, for example, the main female character, Samantha, her mom is dealing with early onset dementia. So that's why Samantha moves back home. And it's just really sad to see how like that's affecting her mom and like just everything like that. It's very sad. And then with Xavier, his past, where it was just like pretty much everything horrible happened to him pretty much. And they were just talking about like things his dad did, and especially to animals was just really sad, and that was just tough to read about. So it's like overall I'm just kind of wishing this was a little bit more like lighthearted, and that's no fault of the book in general because the way they're discussing the topics is like very good and very sensitive towards that discussion. But I think it was just I was personally wanting a little more of like a rom-com moment, and it's just everything's very intense. I am liking the book. It's just making me really sad and I want to feel happy. So that's just how I'm struggling with it a little. But like I am reading it pretty fast, I would say, and I am enjoying it. It's just tough. Like I've said, I don't think this is necessarily the book I would have picked up at this exact moment if I knew like the contents of it, but I'm not gonna put it down because of that. Like I'm still interested in reading it right now. Yeah, those are my thoughts right now. I'm just gonna keep reading for a while, and then I think my sister and her boyfriend are picking me up. I'm gonna go with them to get dinner, but I just ate with my parents, and so I think I'm just gonna go get like a little drink or something with them. But that's the rest of my night. Tomorrow I'm so excited. We're going to my favorite bookstore ever that's here. I always like going when I'm here, and I have a gift card from Christmas that I forgot to bring last time I was in town, so I remembered to bring it. So I've got my gift card to spend and I'm very excited. So I'm gonna be going there tomorrow, and you best expect a book haul to come soon. Oh, and then I think I did insert the thing, but I wasn't able to finish Intermezzo because of my credits, my Spotify credits. I'm in Spotify jail. Super upsetting, but what are you gonna do? Like, actually, what am I gonna do? I guess I'll just have to wait to read it when I get home, which is so annoying because I was so close to finishing it. I literally had like 40 minutes left. So whatever, I'm not even gonna think about it. Okay, that was my update. welcome to Saturday. Today has been such a fun day. At the beginning of the day, my mom and I, we went bakery hopping and we went to two of our favorite bakeries and got some great pastries. So had that for breakfast, then did a little bit of grocery shopping for Easter brunch that we're having tomorrow. And now my sister is coming over and we're all gonna go to the bookstore. And I'm so excited because I think I already mentioned, but I have a gift card to spend. I made sure that when I was packing, I left some room for books that I can bring back, but I do have to be strategic because I truly only have, like, I brought a carry-on and like a little bag on top of my carry-on, so I don't have a ton of room, but that's not going to stop me because if worst comes to worst, I think my sisters are visiting me end of May and maybe I can convince them to bring some of the books with them. But yes, I'm trying to think of like what books I want to pick up because I truly haven't purchased any books in the longest time. I have been really utilizing my library at home, and also I've just been like reading books on my physical TBR, and I've been really into my Kindle and my iPad, reading on that. Yeah, because like I'm trying to think of like the books I've read recently that I've loved and like maybe want a physical copy of, but I'm really not sure. I really enjoyed Beartown and I would like a physical copy of that, I think, but also it's always kind of more fun buying books that you haven't read yet, but then it's also risky. So I don't know. I'm just gonna spend some time perusing and I think that'll be really fun because the new Emily Henry book unfortunately comes out Tuesday, so I can't get that, but I'm trying to think of any new releases that I've wanted to purchase and I haven't yet. Oh, maybe I'll actually get Oathbound. That could be a potential book I purchase. Yeah, I downloaded that on my Kindle. I got like a Libby hold for it, or a Libby loan, I guess. So I was gonna read that soon actually. So maybe I'll purchase that. But I'm like, that is a thick book. So I don't know. I'm just very excited. Like where the bookstore is, there's a bunch of like little restaurants, like cafes in the same vicinity. And there's this Greek restaurant and there's these like Greek fries that are like loaded Greek fries and they're so good. I literally dream about them. So I'll probably get those too. Yeah, it'll be so fun. My sister will be here soon. Then I think we're gonna head out. Oh, a small update. I actually ended up going for a walk and I'm reading for another video. The Sun is Also a Star. It's part of my like Read It or Unhaul It series. I did actually I listened to the audiobook for it on my walk, and trying to think of math, I started at, I'm not even gonna do the math actually, I give up, but I listened to about 20% on my walk. The audiobook is actually really fast. I am enjoying that. I'll talk about that more in that other video. I feel like I'm not gonna get into that book too much. Yeah, listen to that for a while on my walk. I feel like I'm having a very Washington day. Woke up early, got coffee and pastries, then went for a walk in the light drizzly rain, and now I'm gonna go to a bookstore. So yes, having a great day so far. I will update you when I need to.
You should do this. This is your YouTube video.
I know, but I want to see what you got.
Oh.
Here. Okay, show me what you got.
Yeah, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is my favorite book of last year, and I wanted a physical copy. I got The Book of Love by Kelly Link. This is an author I read in college that I really loved. I've been wanting to read this, but the hardcover was too thick, so I'm excited about the paperback. This is Rachel's one of her favorite books of last year, so she made me get it. I've always wanted to read this, and it was a used copy. Someone recommended this somewhere and said it was really good, so I decided to try it. The show's coming out and I never got around to reading this, so this is also a used copy. This is also one of Rachel's favorites. And then this was Rachel's favorite book of 2024, so I decided to get it. Such an influencer. That's my haul.
So this is an eclectic collection. Oh, so this is new, The Ride, about Paul Revere, the background, a lot of background info. So my American history.
Oh.
And then this is my fantasy that Rachel and Claire both, Strange the Dreamer, I haven't read. They think I would like this, even though it's not typically my genre. The Personal Librarian, I just randomly saw this, but then Claire said she's heard a lot of good things about this. So this is historical fiction. I'm excited about that. This I didn't know about, but this looks really interesting. It's a retelling of Huck Finn from Jim's perspective, so that will be really interesting. This is JJ's favorite. Been wanting to read it. It's older book. Mitch Albom, The Five People You Meet in Heaven. This is new fiction, Hazelborn Ladies Motorcycle and Flying Club. And some of my book club ladies recommend that. And then I got a Jane Austen, Fabulous Jane Austen puzzle. It has quotes from the various books. So it's very cute. It's all the different characters interacting in a little Regency era building. You're next, Rachel.
Oh, wait, is there a seat over there?
Claire is now telling us how much I owe her.
Okay, mine is very fantasy heavy. I think only fantasy, actually. Okay, first, I wasn't sure about this, but I got Gifted and Talented by Olive E. Blake. I've never read an Olive E. Blake book. You read Atlas 6? But signed. I think it just recently came out, but by the premise it sounds like the Wizards of Waverly Place movie, and that was one of the most stressful movies I've ever watched in my life. So I got that. Oathbound, of course. I'll need to read a synopsis of Bloodmark because I don't remember anything about that. Shadow of What Was Lost, James Islington. I originally had a hold for this on Libby, but I was not able to finish it before the loan expired. There's like 700 pages. And then, wait, so you haven't read this?
I have not, but we had it for our work book club.
Oh,
And
okay.
a couple people really liked it. I just didn't finish it in time.
I mean, it sounded like very fun.
Yeah, fun.
Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Horanek.
It's like a Polish fantasy, like fairy tale.
It looks so pretty. It's a YA. Finally, I love Rebecca Ross. I don't know if this is her first series, but The Queen's Rising. Heard good things about this. Got that as well. So we all made out
There's
pretty
the
well, I
haul.
would say. We were there for like 3 hours. two
and a
hours.
half.
But we ate lunch too.
Did eat lunch.
Okay. Alright, I'm back. Today's actually Monday. I didn't want to film a lot yesterday because I knew I wasn't going to be reading like at all, and I only read like that much yesterday because yesterday was Easter and I wanted to make sure I spent time with my family. We had a bunch of fun things planned. Like we went to church, had an Easter brunch, which was so good. I got some clips of that. And then we watched the Celtics game. My sister, her boyfriend, and I went on a walk, which was nice, but it ended up pouring rain. But that was actually good because it was a sort of like precursor to us seeing Pride and Prejudice in theaters last night, which was so fun. So the rain felt very on brand. Yeah, yesterday was just a great day. I knew I wasn't going to read a lot yesterday, so I decided that since today's my last day at home and I knew I was going to do some reading anyways, that this is technically going to be in place of Sunday or my like reading throughout the week. And yeah, so I do have some updates for you actually. I ended up finishing Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I finished the majority of it on Saturday, but then I just finished like the last like 10% just a bit ago, and I do have thoughts about that. When I first started the book, I was like, oh wow, this is sad, but surely it's not going to be like this the whole time because it's a romance book. No, this book was so sad throughout the whole book that I forgot that it was a romance book. Like many times I forgot that. And I think that's my main problem with the book, is that it did not feel at all like a romance. Because honestly, it's like, yes, I thought the two characters were really cute at the beginning, but my love bomber alarm went off multiple times throughout this book. One gripe I had with it was that like after their first date, they were talking about doing long distance. Yeah, that happened. That just freaked me out. I think the two characters did really like each other, but I feel like it was kind of more in like a sense of escapism because both their lives were horrible. They at least had these times where they could leave their horrible lives and like go meet up in Minnesota is where the guy lived, and then San Diego, I believe, is where the girl lived, or somewhere in California, I forget. And it felt like more they were in love with the idea of escaping their realities than they were in love with each other, if that makes sense. Yeah, so overall, did not love that book. I can't lie, the last like 20% I was reading it, but I was trying to kind of get through it. Yeah, I was enjoying it at the beginning because I do appreciate how Abby Jimenez introduces like actual real life problems that could happen in her romance books, and I think that's really good to talk about, but it was honestly just so depressing. Maybe I would have been more into it if I would have known that that was going to take up a majority of the book, like the problems that both of the main characters are dealing with, but I was kind of wanting and expecting more of a romance heavy book because I feel like with Just for the Summer, which is, I really liked that book that she came out with, the problems in it were really real and were very like interesting to talk about, and they were a big part of the story and the plot, but I feel like I cared more about that romance and it felt more genuine than Say You'll Remember Me. So I don't know, that's how I feel. I ended up rating it, I mean, I probably should marinate on my thoughts about the book a little bit, but I really don't think it's going to change. If anything, I think it would be lower, so I think me saying the rating right now is going to be higher than what I would give it later on. I would give it a 2.5 star. 3 star is kind of like where I recommend, like, oh yeah, give it a shot. It was good. It was okay. So I don't know if I would necessarily recommend, maybe I should do it lower. I don't know. I'm just going to give it a 2.5 star. I ended up finishing it, so that's something. But the problem was, it's not necessarily that I finished it because I was enjoying it. I just feel like I've been DNFing books and like putting them down a lot recently. So I was kind of trying to push through and finish it so I could have like a whole opinion about it. And yeah, I think my mom and I are going to start reading a little bit today. I don't know what book I'm going to pick out yet, but I will let you know when I do. Yeah, I have so many to pick from now. I'm very excited. Editing Rachel here. Wanted to give you a little final update because my plans for the end of this video changed a little bit. So the last clip you saw in this video was me reading Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake, and I ended up only reading like 10 pages before I got so nauseous and had to watch Gilmore Girls with my mom. I just couldn't read anymore that day. I don't know if it's just me, but like if I'm not feeling well or feeling really nauseous, I can't like hold a hardcover book. Like that sounds like the worst thing ever. Yes, I'm being very dramatic right now, but I only ended up reading 10 pages that day, and I realized I never made an outro for this video, and I have my notes on how much I read throughout this week, and it was so good. I'm very excited about it. So let's get into it. First off, Intermezzo, I ended up reading 70% of this book. I started at 20% at the beginning of the video, then read 17%, and then I'm at 90% now. I still need to finish that book. It's a couple days later. I'm just holding off on finishing it because I was really liking the audiobook, and as I mentioned many times and was a drama queen over, I ran out of Spotify credits. I might have to actually physically read the book. We'll see what I do about that. The next book, First Time Caller. I started this video at 50% for the book, and I ended up reading 50 more percent, so I completed it. And so that's one book completed. And Intermezzo, I'm not going to count it as completed, but I'm very close. Say You'll Remember Me, I started that book in this video and finished it. So that's, I'm just going to say it. That's 3 books finished. And I didn't mention this in the video. Like now that I'm finished editing like the rough draft of this video, I realized I never mentioned that I'm reading the 4 agreements for one of my marketing classes. So I read about 50% of that this week. I'm just going to include it now because that counts, right? And then I read 20% of The Sun Is Also a Star. I'm about 80% of the way through that book, very close to finishing that. And finally, I read 10 pages of Gifted and Talented. I can say right now I am at 110 pages in that but that's for a different video, so keep your eye out for that. But overall, I had such a great time filming this video. Just looking back on my week and editing it, it's just so special and so sweet. I love how many cute videos I got with my family and that I'll have that to look back on. And yeah, overall it was a great reading week as well. I feel like this helped cure my book slump so much. I'm just super excited about reading right now, which haven't been excited about reading in a very long time. So crossing my fingers that I can maintain that feeling. But that's all I got for you guys in today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!